And 3 years from now, nobody is going to pay you for what you know because
Yes.
AI will know everything you know. It'll know everything everyone else knows. In 3 years, if you still want people to be paying for you, they're going to be paying for what you think. And that's what you were hearing me say on that other broadcast is that you have to develop your personal branding. You have to become relevant. You have to become indispensable as the iconic thought leader in your space.
Welcome to Season 5 of Manage Self, Lead Others with host Nina Sunday. This season, as well as workplace culture, we're going deeper into embedding innovation, AI, and invisible patterns shaping how we lead. Each episode, bold thinkers join us to explore how to lead with intention, elevate team culture, and stay future ready. The future of leadership starts with the questions we ask.
Randy Gage does not just challenge your thinking, he helps you rewire it. With 15 books translated into more than 25 languages, Randy has become a global voice for CEOs and entrepreneurs who want more than success. They want clarity, impact, and freedom. With a mind hardwired for metaphysical principles, innovative marketing, and maverick reinvention, he created a prosperity operating system to help high-level achievers move toward the highest possible version of themselves. Randy believes playing small serves no one. His work empowers leaders to build abundance while still protecting their health, relationships, and peace of mind. He has spoken to more than 2 million people in over 50 countries and is a member of the Speaker Hall of Fame. It is my honour to welcome Mr. Randy Gage. I'm truly honoured to have a speaker, mentor, coach, lifestyle planning expert of the high calibre that you are, Randy Gage. Welcome, Randy Gage, to Manage Self, Lead Others.
Thanks, Nina. Great to be on with you.
And I first heard you speak when you came to Adelaide to our National Speakers Convention, way back when, and also when I was president of National Speakers, now Professional Speakers Australia, in Sydney. We heard that you'd registered, so I contacted you and said, would you please speak? And you very kindly did 15 minutes off the cuff. And honestly, you have an energy and a dynamism that is engaging and just, everyone was on the edge of their seat. So thank you for your presence here today. And my question is around you. I've been listening to your podcast, and the episode I was listening to, you were saying that AI and the future, what it is going to mean for us. So you have some very good opinions about that. So perhaps we could start there.
Yeah, because I believe anyone watching right now, I believe AI is going to be the most disruptive development of your lifetime. And it won't matter if you're in your 20s, 40s, 60s, or 80s. It won't matter if you're a vampire who's been alive for 1,500 years. AI is going to be the most cataclysmic disruption of your lifetime. You mentioned I spoke to, go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of people think that they can take their time or they're a little bit afraid to get started. I've actually done some introductory workshops for local government, and they're sending along the people that aren't even touching it, and they've got permission to do it. And in a breakout room recently, I said, well, I have at the top, I've got 4 different AIs that I have accounts with, and I just go between the 4 throughout the day. And depending on whether I'm getting someone to rewrite an email that's more conversational or more diplomatic, or whether I want tech knowledge about how to find the new Zoom functions. Now they've downloaded a new update, things like that. I'm using it day in and day out, and I believe you are too. Is that right?
4 months ago, I was saying, if you're not using it 20 times a day, you don't understand it. 3 months ago, I was saying, if you're not using it 50 times a day, you don't understand. Now, if I'm not using it 100 times a day, I know I'm wasting time and being unproductive. So I have built out a bunch of it. And when I say I have built out, that means I wrote a check to somebody to build out. I'm not a tech guy at all, but I have built out like 4 different agents. I've got a podcast one, I've got a newsletter one, I've got a co-CEO, and these are all programmed with, trained on my material. They can speak in my voice with my IP, and they think like me. And I probably save 20 or 30 hours a week with AI of stuff that I used to do before AI.
Absolutely, I'm with you there, Randy. And so the lesson there really for anyone who's working in the workplace, manage a team, whether they're a C-suite leader or a middle manager, or just aiming to do the best job they can do. The thing is to think about, what can I delegate? Can someone else do this? Can AI do this? I mean, there's even AI that'll read and answer your emails for you in your own voice.
Yeah. Oh, it'll
So,
do it. The workflow stuff you can devise it's mind-boggling, and it gets more so every day. Every day I have something where I get goosebumps, just like, how did it possibly do?
well, I'm
So,
hearing
I
that
mean,
AI now has an IQ of 130, which is genius level.
higher. It's
It's higher
higher.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I have an IQ that's higher than 130, and I can tell you AI is higher
Oh,
than
right.
me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI is today, AI's 175 maybe,
Gee
and
whiz.
tomorrow it'll be 177.
Yeah.
And remember that AI can, like, I give it a project like that, it takes 3 to 4 seconds. If you said, okay, read these 20,000 books, it does that in like 2 minutes. So the computations per second, we can't even
Yeah.
fathom it as
Yeah.
humans. So here, for anyone watching, if you are 65 or older and you planning to retire within the next 2 years, maybe you can skate to the end without getting involved with AI. But if you still want to be here after 2 years from now, you cannot put it off anymore. You can't avoid it. You can't say, well, maybe I can just bluff my way through it. No,
Yeah.
it's going to, people are talking about it's going to impact 10 million jobs or tens of millions. No, it's AI is going to disrupt 3 billion jobs on Earth in the next few years. I really believe that.
And and I remember you were talking a little bit about, if you're just the information person, you'll be replaced. But if you're the IP person, that's where you'll still have value. And so I've actually got some projects in the wings that aren't fully formed, but I know that if I lose my ability to speak at conferences and train in workshops, if that gets disrupted, I've got another channel of income planned. And so I'm planning the next phase of my income generation, I suppose, on the basis that I can't assume that the business will always be the same way anymore. And I've probably got
Well,
about 2
here's
years.
what you can assume, I think. I just spoke this last convention for the worldwide speakers convention. I just did a session in
Yeah.
that on this topic. And what I told the people in that room is, in 3 years, 95 or 98% of you are going to be out of the business, or you're going to have to change your business model,
Yes.
because that percent, 95, 98, whatever, speakers, coaches, consultants, authors, they're getting paid for what they know. And 3 years from now, nobody is going to pay you for what you know, because
Yes.
AI will know everything you know. It'll know everything everyone else knows. In 3 years, if you still want people to be paying for you, they're going to be paying for what you think. And that's what you were hearing me say on that other broadcast, is that You have to develop your personal branding. You have to become relevant. You have to become indispensable as the iconic thought leader in your space. So people are going to come in and say, Nina, what should we do about this? They don't want to know, what are the 10 commandments of customer service? What are the 4 C's of sales?
They
They're going to
do want
say,
critical thinking. And actually, critical thinking has become, I think, less obvious in the workplace in the last decade, I believe, because, well, I don't know what the cause of that.
it's going extinct. Nobody says how to do lateral thinking, how to do critical thinking, how to do logical sequential thinking, how to do abstract thinking, right? These are all, there's processes to do all of those types of thinking, but we don't teach that to kids.
And, well, even in the workplace, I tip my hat to Edward de Bono, who did the 6 thinking hats, because that was a system to actually get you to critically think about a project or an idea in 6 different ways. And he taught the process of thinking in order to create greater creativity. And so, and I, as a speed reading trainer, and speed reading has become less emphasis in my business because people really don't read like they used to. They read sideways on a phone or a device. They're not really doing what I call deep reading an entire
Right.
book all the way through. And I think what's happening is it's turning us into black and white thinkers instead of being able to have the nuance of ambivalence and holding 2 opposing ideas at the same time and finding the middle ground. That's part of critical
100%.
thinking.
100%. Let me share something with you because you would appreciate this as a speaker. Like 10 months ago, maybe even a year ago, I said, I'm going to read 1 hour every day and not listening by audio and I do self-development. I've always done self-development for 30 years, right? I listen to podcasts, but I said none of that counts. I have to read and Kindle, none of that has to be a real book. So like I've got a tour, I'm leaving in Friday, right? I've got 4 books and I'm a carry-on only guy, but I got a
Right.
10-day tour. So I'm taking 4 books with me, right? And I'm telling you, it transformed everything for me because I just thinking at such a higher level. I've gained so much wisdom, the self-discipline, it forced me to be more productive. The time I've saved with AI is really where I got that time to devote to the reading. And then it makes you have the opportunity to read the deep stuff that
Yes.
if you were just going to read 15 minutes a day, you'd like there's a book from 1960 called The Force of Crowds, I think, won the Nobel Prize in Literature.
Right.
And it's the most powerful, deep psychological study of why human beings exhibit herd behavior you'd ever see. But it's
Love
the
that.
kind of
I
book
think
I
I
would
know the
never
book you
read.
mean. Yep.
Well, it's the kind of book I would never read if I was doing 15 minutes a day, right? You'd have it on the shelf and you'd know I got
Uh-huh.
to get to that one day. And I have a bunch like that on my shelves, but now I'm getting to them because I have an hour a day. And I think that's why I'm the more in demand now than I've ever been, more relevant than I've ever been. I attribute it to that 1 hour a day of reading.
Because you're actually growing your own knowledge base, but at the same time, because you've got all this lived experience, you can apply that, and it resonates, and you get fresh thoughts. I mean, and then that then comes out in your next book. So
Yeah.
it's a self-fulfilling cycle. What I always say in my presentation skills workshops is I quote you at our conference. You started your keynote presentation with, so there I was at Adelaide Airport. You start your stories in the middle, And that
Yes.
engages us straight away. It's a fantastic technique. We don't need how you got to the airport, how you got off the plane.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
call that parachute into the scene.
that's it. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, just while we've still got a few minutes, let's give some advice that I heard you give about managers and leaders working in their genius zone, not, that whole idea of, oh, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. And that's last century. And you really have to delegate and be willing to oversee when you want to delegate something, because you might be delegating a task that you do well and you want to build someone else's capability. How can managers better work in their genius zone, and what should they not be doing anymore?
I can only share my experience and the lessons I learned. I read, so Dan Sullivan, the strategic coach guy, and Benjamin Hardy, who was the author, the guy who wrote, they did two books together,
Right.
one called Who, Not How, and one called 10X is Better Than 2X. And then Ben wrote another book by himself and a different guy on called Scaling, a book about scaling. Which was recent. I devoured that the day it came out. Those two books, the first two that he did with Sullivan, I was like, I got to rethink everything.
Exactly. And you talk about busyness being something that gets in the way of you looking after your health, perhaps letting your relationships slide, or being, short with people, and also allowing yourself time to think strategically and creatively too, because creative ideas, new ideas come in the spaces in your day. They don't come where you're in the middle of executing a task.
Simple things.
Mm.
I have my whole calendar for 2026, right? For all the big events and my coaching program, what's it? And so
Oh.
I'm the most productive person I know, right? And people think, oh my God, he must work 18 hours a day. No, I save 20 to 30 hours a week with the stuff I'm doing with AI. So I'm doing the genius zone stuff
Yeah.
and only the genius zone stuff. And then I still have that time to play softball and go to dinner and have real relationships with real people and all of that stuff.
I wanted to ask you, this is a vision board from a couple of years ago. I've got another
Yeah.
one that I was using last year. I'm about to start up again for this year. What's your opinion about, doing some sort of a vision board? I just cut out pictures and put them together with keywords, but still, people do it any way they want to.
I have been doing vision boards for 30 years and with like a 95% success rate
It's unbelievable,
of
isn't it?
manifesting the things I put on there. Because even when they're just on the side, you're still seeing it with your peripheral vision. It's still making an imprint on your subconscious mind.
And I
And
would encourage any manager to get magazines, old magazines, you can get them at secondhand stores, and just have them on the table. Get your team to do their own vision board. I did this one in 90 minutes at a little workshop, but that got me back in the saddle of doing vision boards every year. I now go to the newsagent and buy cardboard and make it look pretty. But it's about the law of attraction. It's about focusing on what you do want and being towards focus rather than away from focused. And a lot of people are stuck in their own, their a whinge zone. What's wrong with their life? They've got to be more grateful and think about what's right with my life and how could I make it better and how can this be the best year yet.
100%.
Mm. All right. I'm sorry I pontificated then. Didn't want to
Your
make.
show, you can pontificate all you want. That's the great thing about having a show.
Well, look, I better let you go. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, Randy, and you made a deep impression on me that those two times I saw you present. And of course, I've been following you on X, actually. I get all my news from X. And by the way, I want to thank you about the idea of switching your phone off at night, in the sense that I used to just put it on airplane mode and put it in the next room. Do you know what? I switch it off now. Why even have it pulsing in another room?
Right. In another room. By the way, before I forget, everyone watching, if they go to my site, randygage.com,
That's
you
right.
can put it in the show notes. Right on the homepage, there's a free PDF, The 7 Elements of an Abundant Life. It's free, download it, and it really, I believe, will show you how you can do, have, and become the kind of person who lives the kind of life you want to live. My mission is I want to make the world more prosperous. And I believe you don't do that with charity and entitlement. I believe you do it with empowering people. We have to make the world more prosperous. We have to make the people in the world more prosperous. So that's what all my work is about. It all leads to there eventually. So that PDF will be really helpful.
Absolutely. The 7 Elements of Abundant Life PDF at randygage.com, and it'll be in the show notes, and Gage is Gage. Just bring conscious awareness of abundance in your life, prosperity, and just see your life blossom. And thank you for sharing your opinions, your philosophy, and your uplifting ideas with the rest of the world. You make the world a better place, Randy Gage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Nina. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. Thank you. My VIP guest today was Randy Gage, and if you'd like to explore more of the work of Randy Gage, Gage, head to randygage.com, download the free PDF, The 7 Elements of an Abundant Life. Or you can listen to the Power Prosperity podcast or find his books on Amazon. My name is Nina Sunday, and this is the Manage Self Lead Others show. You can listen on all major podcast apps and watch the video on Spotify and YouTube. If you are enjoying the show, you can support it by leaving a 5-star review. On Apple Podcasts, just scroll past the episodes to ratings and reviews and tap 5 stars and a quick comment. You can do this on the app or in a desktop browser. That simple act helps other leaders discover the show. Until next time, stay curious and keep leading from an abundance mindset.
Manage Self, Lead Others has launched the book, available on Amazon, paperback, Kindle and audiobook. Not transcripts, but it's Nina Sunday's reflections on the big ideas and insights from each guest, and is adventure calling. If podcasting is the new white paper, then a travel retreat is the new corporate offsite. Short retreats in exotic locations are launching this year, so head to ninasunday.com to express your interest and be part of this learning meets travel chapter for leaders, people managers and entrepreneurs. Plus, looking for a conference speaker or workshop facilitator to uplevel your team in Australia or anywhere in the world? Visit brainpowertraining.com.au or ninasunday.com. Until you tune in next time,